Okay, let's try that. How's that?
I don't know.
Chat, can you hear us? Chat,
Oh, there we are.
Can you see us? Oh,
I see us. I'm on the YouTube.
hey, now I got the
Great.
notification. Oh, cool. Well,
What happened?
it's a long story.
Okay. Well, you can tell us later.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just gonna do the. Let's go right from. Let's go from Gavin Chatter. How about that?
Where were we? I don't know.
Wait a minute, what?
We're starting over Gavin
Find
Chatter.
some
How about that?
turkey, you lad. Now's the time for Gavin Chatter.
Gavin Chatter movie news ×2 second take.
Yes.
Tyler, what do you have for us today?
So Denis Villeneuve, he has.
Come on.
I'm gonna mute your mic if you do that again.
No,
You're banned from the show if you do that one more time.
You're like stepping on Joseph's hero. It's like calling him
wait,
Terrence Malikian or something like that.
Come on, just go with the bit. All right.
Okay, great bit.
All right,
Great bit. Continue.
Like the panel.
A+.
I would if it was good.
A+.
If it was good.
Yeah, A+.
Okay. All right. Fine. Whatever. So Denise, he has mixed feelings when embarking on this adaptation of Dune.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people have you guys heard of the unreleased Dune film?
Yeah, it's Hodorowski's.
Yeah.
Alejandro Jodorowsky's made film.
It's like I thought it was like a TV series or something, or a series.
I thought it was too, but I read that it was supposed to be a actual like film, and it was cut out, and so now Denise, he felt like because he was so impassioned about going forward with this Dune film or the Dune series film. I think he's not doing a third one, right?
He is doing a third one.
He's doing a third one.
Yeah. So what's the story though?
Well, so the story is he has mixed feelings, and so he goes on to saying, "I have mixed feelings."
Great.
Great story.
Dynamite stuff. How? Why?
Can I continue? Or
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
He says, I have mixed feelings. When I embarked on this adaptation, the first artist I approached was Hans Zimmer, which surprised me because he's just a composer. Like he's not
A composer.
Well, yeah.
So what Denny is saying, his name is Denny, not Denise. I'm not gonna dead name him.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
it wasn't formerly
he was
Denise.
born as Denise.
I had no idea.
No, I'm just saying. Apparently, Denis cares much. Like he thinks that the soundtrack, the score for the movie, is going to be the most impactful, important thing about the movie.
That's what I was getting into. Now you're getting into my story.
Okay, continue. Why don't you get to your story then?
Okay, so I was saying how surprising it was for Hans Zimmer to be like a integral part of the Dune series, because like the soundtrack really like it didn't hit me, like, you know, it's not like, I don't know, like
it's not too late to delete what you just said.
Oh, it isn't? Okay.
No, you can't. I can delete it from the internet if you want.
Oh, please don't. No, because like
You didn't like the soundtrack? You didn't think it was any stirring whatsoever?
I thought it was good, but like it wasn't like
You'd rather have yakety sax playing?
yeah. Exactly.
Be like
Exactly.
Lincoln Park
Yes.
at the end of Transformers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But he had mixed feelings about the film, and I thought this was a really good discussion because he described it as a film that would like he described the story of Dune being like something like integral to his childhood, and so him embarking on that journey to make his childhood dream, it's interesting because he took so much care. He took so much care into this film, and I wouldn't say like he had second thoughts about doing it, But what I think about
What does the story say though?
well, I just read
This
a
is his
quote
input.
and
Now it's just Tyler's input. Okay.
yeah. So now I'm just waxing on about
Okay.
it.
Okay. I'd rather you wax on than wax off, to be honest.
Okay, thank you.
Whacking off.
Okay. Well, the
I
fact
think
that it's his childhood, like one of the most influential sci-fi pieces to him as a now sci-fi movie maker,
Right.
I can only imagine the complex emotions that come with that.
Well, because he's having there's so much passion to it.
Well, he wants to be
And-
successful. He doesn't want to like sully it,
And I don't really care about Dune. Like I don't care about the story or anything like that. But what I will say, when I did first watch it, it felt like it was in great care. And so I think that him having this apprehension of making a good movie is it's heroic. Like he knew,
He's a hero.
he knew what he had to do. Yes, he was a hero, Joseph. He was a hero for the Dune franchise. David Lynch could have given a good goddamn about the Dune series, but Denise did.
Yeah.
And so
I just can't get over the fact you be calling him Denise over and over again.
come on.
It's not even that hard. Just Denis. Denis. It's his name.
It's less work.
Wait a minute, it's Denis?
Yes, it's
It's
Denis.
Okay,
less work.
Okay.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I thought it was.
You know those things on both sides of your head, Tyler?
What thing?
The ones that absorb sound,
Ones that are covered with headphones right now.
and then the thing in between those ears that hopefully can retain the sounds that are being shot into those things on the side of your head.
Oh,
You got to use that.
I do.
Hey,
I thought
Binge Lord Dan, if you're in the chat still, do you still want to stick up for Tyler? He had some nice things to say about you.
Oh,
I don't know if they're going to be retracted at this point.
yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. But anyways, so I thought it was like it made him a human for him to. What was that, Joseph?
I'm like lost at what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What made it made who human?
it made Denis human to take this franchise and make it to his to make it to the best of his ability to
Continue.
okay.
Continue.
All right, no, I already know that's the move along sign.
No, that's not the move along sign. This is the oops. This is the move along sign.
Go ahead.
That's the move along sign.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, that's right.
This
So
is
he
the-
took something.
This is the sound. that-
he took something that was dear to his heart and then he made it to the best of his ability, and he was self-conscious about it. And that's what I really appreciate him like admitting to /film.com. Like it's a very sort of
It's a high risk because of the nature of Dune and the story that it is.
Correct.
Because I mean, failed movie, Jodorowsky's version, unmade, and then Lynch's failed movie as well that he did make.
Correct.
That is like people like it, but is probably not really a good movie.
Yeah.
And apparently,
And he was-
it includes a lot of stuff from the book. Like it tackles a lot of things that are in the book that maybe Denis' version doesn't, but it still doesn't. The quality of the movie is still not that good.
He was able to create this universe that is beloved by many sci-fi fans into a film that is accepted by general audiences, which is a Herculean feat to do.
Yeah, and there's people who are like the Dune purists, like the people who are like have read and love the book, will be it seems like there's people who are like, well, he didn't include this, he didn't include the Space Guild, and he didn't do this, and actually they have a child together by the end of the book, and they didn't do that in the movie. And there's a lot that is excluded from the story in the movie.
Correct.
But for people like me who have a sort of secondhand knowledge of the book because I'm with somebody who has read the book or most of the book, it helps having a little bit of insight sometimes. But as like someone who has really no knowledge of the lore, the movies themselves, like, I think for me do a really good job of just like world building and character building.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. Like, even though I wasn't super sold on the movie, I think that the movie is just really well crafted. It looks great, and even if you didn't know about like Dune, this movie would be just a great sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it is.
And I think
I don't know anything about the movies, and I love it. Second one was not as good in my opinion, but I think that I'm gonna rewatch it again at home and see how I like it with subtitles, because I came up really high on the first one after subtitles.
I can't tell you the hold that part 2 has on me right now, because
you're not alone either.
It's ruined me for other movies.
What?
It's like it's left a gaping hole in my heart that I have yet to watch a movie and experience the same amount of movie high.
Wow.
And the further I've like removed from
IMAX,
watching
right?
the movie, like the further I've like gone out from watching the movie, like it's been what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Like a little bit more than 2 weeks. It's just like it's like occupied my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's just like I just like remembering the certain scenes, the fucking knife fight. It's so good. And just it's just other moments, just like scene after scene, like I said, it's just beautiful. It's just
There's like, I have like
so
4
good.
or 5 online movie friends that are in the same boat as you, Joseph, where they're like, if you haven't seen it and they find out, that's all they're doing is like berating you. Go see Dune 2. Go see Dune 2. It will change your perception on other action and sci-fi movies, which is kind of how I felt about the first one. But
yeah.
Either way,
just
there were some
them together. It's just
Yeah.
just wonderful, just
Yeah.
excellent.
I
Best,
mean, I
some of
do
the best filmmaking
I
ever.
do plan on seeing it.
I don't think you said you weren't going to.
Well, things change.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Joseph, for that.
you're welcome.
But
Also, is Deanna baking a cake back there or something?
No.
All right, Tyler, do you have anything else?
no, I don't.
Okay, Joseph, what do you got for us for Gavin Chatter?
Oh, it's me. Yeah. So a
it's
couple
me.
things. The Oscars were almost a week ago.
Yeah.
And the winners have been announced. Congratulations, winners!
Yay!
Good job, Oppenheimer and Poor Things and everything.
Two big winners.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we did a sort of half-assed job of doing some Oscar predictions. And so I have the results of our winners and losers.
Cool.
And
I don't feel very good about this, to be honest.
Well, you are feeling correctly.
Damn it.
So the best picture went to Oppenheimer, and Pete got that one right.
Yes.
And me and Tyler got that wrong. Tyler got Killers of the Flower Moon, which won nothing.
I know
and-
that was
And
a
I guess
surprise.
Poor Things, which didn't win. But Pete, Oppenheimer was the only one that you guessed right.
No, really? That's it?
Yep. You only got one correct.
Oh, man.
But it was the big one. So I guess
So that was worth 4 points, right?
yeah.
All right, cool.
So Pete got 1, so he got last. Tyler guessed, Kills the Flower Moon for Best Picture. Wrong. Best Director, he got Yorgos, also wrong. But he got Cillian Murphy, Emma Stone, and Robert Downey Jr. and The Boy and the Heron. All correct.
Yeah, Boy and the Heron. That was a kind of a surprise.
Yes, it was. And so he got 4 correct. And I got those same ones as well, except I didn't get The Boy and the Heron. I guessed Across the Spider-Verse for Best Animated. But I did get Divine Joy Randolph for Best Supporting Actress.
So you guys tied for what, 3 points?
No, I got 5.
You got 5 out of what? How many did we guess? 6?
We guessed 7. So I got Nolan for Best Director. Pete guessed Jonathan Glazer, and Tyler guessed Yorgos. And Nolan finally got his directing Oscar. He was previously nominated for Dunkirk for Best Directing.
Yeah.
He's been nominated 8 times for an Oscar, not for directing. He's been only nominated twice for directing. Cillian Murphy was a shoo-in, I think, and Emma Stone as well.
Yeah.
Divine Joy, I felt like, was a little bit of a surprise, but definitely worth the award. The Boy and the Heron won Best Animated Feature. So I win.
Congratulations, Joseph. I'm very proud.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of Tyler for not coming in last, and I am ashamed of myself. And I got to say, we made these predictions very early. I've seen probably like 3 or 4 additional Best Picture movies, like on nominations.
Well, I go in for the feel.
Yeah, I know you do.
Even if I didn't see the movie, I go in for the feel.
And it paid off. Tyler goes off most of his life off of vibes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct.
Like when we're at the Red Museum and he's like, "Oh, cool, it's a pool party. I'm just going to go in this
No.
I'm just going to go in this person's pool they brought."
Yeah, let's not bring that up.
The vibe is
Pool
right.
party. I'm gonna get in my jorts.
Yeah.
And
Let's
This random person's pool setup they brought. And then berate them for the rest of the night because they kicked you out.
I did not berate them for the rest of the night.
He's like, "Can you believe that? They kicked me out of their pool." What's Joseph? Since you're the winner, what's my penance for this?
Oh, punishment? Ooh.
Is it something from the wheel?
If you want to, we could do that. We haven't done a punishment movie in a while.
What have I done?
You made your bed. Now it's time to sleep in it. Take your medicine. This is the wheel of punishment.
How do you want to do this?
I don't really know.
I have the list. I could send them to you. You copy paste them onto a wheel, or I can just spin it on my end and tell you.
Yeah, just spin it on your end and tell us.
Okay. So there's a lot of punishment movies, and we haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
So
For new listeners or new viewers, we have a Wheel of Punishment, which essentially are all bad movies.
all bad movies.
Oh, hey, Bruce is in the YouTube chat. Hi, Bruce.
Oh, Bruce.
Thanks for making it over. Appreciate you, man.
Okay. So we still have quite a bit. Simon Says, House of the Dead, the Baby Genius series,
Oh, yeah.
the Avengers 1998, Da Hip Hop Witch,
Okay.
Exchange, Weirdsville, Amityville movies, Hotel Poseidon, which I think we already
watched that. Yeah, I
you
watched that. That was a punishment.
He's like, I already did it.
No, it was a punishment. I had to watch punishment.
The Bubble.
I've already seen
Blonde.
that. Yeah.
You already seen The Bubble? Yeah, we'll get rid of that then. Blonde. A bunch of Joseph Bridges. He's got a list.
Do you have like 5 entries for him or something like
Bridges
that?
are like.
I just have as like his name as a.
Can you put like 3, 4 or 5 of his on there? Because he took the time to make. That way he has 4 chances to win or whatever.
Oh,
Just
like
because
specific movies,
or
just
once
slots?
it lands on his, I'll just go to his list, his punishment list, and pick one. Because he took the time to make a legit bad movie list.
I have Empire on here, which is the
Ryan,
8 hour.
No, it's 23 hours.
Yeah, no, that's no.
It's
No,
like
we've
23
already
hours.
deleted that. No, we're not doing that.
No, he deleted that off of the
no, we're not doing that.
off of the wheel list.
Okay, American Mary. and Robot Wars.
Okay.
American
Mary, I've heard, is actually not supposed to be
Yeah,
bad.
I heard that's decent. Yeah.
Okay. So we're
right.
going to spin the punishment wheel. Only I can see this, but
Okay.
it's spinning. Just trust me. It's spinning.
I trust you.
And it's going to be a Joseph Bridges.
Okay. I already have his list up here.
Perfect.
Let's go. Okay, let's go back.
Jesus
Lists.
Christ, his list is
Just
huge.
Films.
Shuffle it.
Let's see here. New movies. I have to find the actual list. He's got a lot of lists on here. I have his name pulled up on.
Yeah, he's been making those year lists.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. MCFC Wheel of Punishment. There's 26 movies.
Oh my God. He actually made a list.
Yeah, and
of that.
there is a shuffle. Loquisha is at the top.
Okay.
LaQuisha?
Loquisha.
That's a movie?
Loquisha.
Sometimes you have to become somebody else to find out who you really are. A white guy pretends to be a black female talk radio host and becomes a huge hit. 1.4 on Letterboxd. Wow.
What kind of movie is this?
Joe Bridges has it rated as a 1.5 out of 10 out of 5.
So that means he watched it.
Well, he wouldn't put it on the list unless he watched it.
What is that? Oh, well, okay.
That's, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, he's
Okay.
he's a man of integrity after all. You see. Okay, I'll watch Loquisha and report back next week. Fucking great.
All right. LaQuisha. All right, so that was that's that. My next news story.
Real quick before you move on, one of the movies that was on his punishment list, I watched for a binge movies challenge, and I loved it. It's called
What was it?
The Dark Backward with
The Dark Backward.
Judd Nelson and Bill Paxton.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's something else. Anyways,
Paxton was in it?
yeah.
Wow.
So go ahead, Joseph.
All right, so my next news story is actually came out a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to talk about it because I'm a fan of. You guys have seen Naked Gun?
Yeah.
The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen.
Yep. Love the series.
Sure.
Good
Yeah.
series.
Love it.
Parody movie of
Police Squad.
cop detective movies.
Yeah, it's like a movie version of Police Squad, the show.
Yeah. So it's getting a reboot and a remake
Wait,
with
what?
Yeah.
Liam Neeson as the star,
Crazy.
which is the surprising part for me. The fact that Liam Neeson is part of it, because he's done mostly serious stuff, but he's done a couple things where he's a comedic character.
Yeah.
He was in the Lego Movie as the cop. He voiced the cop, like a two-faced cop, who's has like a serious face and then like a
friendly face.
like a friendly face. Yeah,
Hi there.
and it's going to be directed by Akiva Schaffer of The Lonely Island,
Oh, that's cool.
and produced by Seth MacFarlane
All right.
as well, and Dan Greger and Doug Mand, who wrote Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, have written the script.
Wow.
So yeah, the Naked Gun movies originally starred Leslie Nielsen, and those were movies that I watched frequently, I guess, as a kid, maybe like in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
Like whenever they were on. Leslie Nielsen played Frank Drebin, who was a self-serious detective who has failed up through the ranks of the police squad, and has become like his character is like he's like the best cop, even though he's the worst cop.
Yeah.
And this should be interesting because it's a genre of movie that I don't know if it would work nowadays.
What do you mean
Because
by that?
it's a parody movie, and parody movies have come and gone after like this Scary Movie franchise, and then they tried to do like Meet the Spartans and everything after that.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious as to how they're gonna do this type of comedy in 2025 is when it's slated to release.
I feel like it's less of a parody at this point and more of a just like a very goofy version of that genre. Which, I mean, I guess that is a parody, but I feel like at this point, the Police Squad and Naked Gun has such a cult, not a cult, even a cult following. Just like it has such reverence in the comedy world that that you're kind of guaranteed to have an audience that's going to show up and just at least to see how it stacks up, because I'm not a huge fan of the old Airplane movie, the original Airplane.
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't like that one?
It was fine. I mean, at the time, it was groundbreaking, and it was
It's dated comedy.
very dated. I mean, there's some great stuff in there, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar plays the co-pilot of the plane.
Yeah.
And there's a point in the movie where one of the kids, like they show the kid up to the cockpit, and they're like, "Look, this is how they fly a plane." And he's like, "Wow, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar," and he goes, "No, I'm Gil. I'm the co-pilot. Look," and he points at his name tag on his shirt, and he goes, "Me and my dad." He's like, "No, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You put up 23 points against the Clippers last season, or in the playoffs." And he's like, "No, kid, you got me mistaken for someone else. I'm Gil." And he says, the kid goes, "My dad says you choked in the playoffs because of so and so," and he goes, "You tell your dad you're a goddamn liar." It's like that works. Like there's a lot of like bits about it that work, but there's more misses than hits in my opinion. But with Police Squad and Naked Gun, it's nonstop, so funny, like the entire thing. In my opinion, it works for me. So,
I think that there might be a resurgence of like that kind of comedy coming in 2024.
Well, we'll see.
Lonely Island produced. I'm in.
Yeah, I one of the running jokes in Airplane specifically was the kid. Also, I think it's the same kid.
Probably.
And the other pilot is like, "Joey, have you ever seen a grown man naked?"
Yeah. yeah, exactly.
And it's the type of comedy, that type of comedy. I don't know how well that will translate into if they try to go down that same route.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well that will perform or be like how well it will be received.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's, I think they're probably gonna go in a different direction or a slightly different direction, while probably trying to play like an homage to the original, because Leslie Nielsen, I think he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he's gone?
Yeah, he's left this mortal plane.
Oh, man.
And you know what's crazy? I think it's Naked Gun. OJ is in those movies.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if it's the first one or the second one, but Orenthal James Simpson who's in those movies.
Yeah, and that's pretty funny in and of itself. Apparently, there was a reboot of the series of Police Squad that was attempted by Ed Helms, but it never made it to the screen.
Really, that's interesting.
Presumably, the new version has been tailored to Neeson's particular skill set.
He's got a very particular set of skills.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And this will, it's currently untitled. This currently untitled story from the files of Police Squad comes to theaters on July 28th in 2025.
I
So
really like the fact that it's Neeson is strange, I think, at first, but then when you see him in that little improv sketch with the Ricky Gervais show that he had on HBO or whatever. What's that show called?
Extras, right?
Yeah, Extras. That's it.
Oh.
And he's talking with him, and he's talking Liam Neeson, him playing himself, and he's talking to Ricky Gervais and Warwick Davis of Willow fame, and they're talking as all playing themselves. And he comes in and he goes, "Ricky, I want to do some improvisational comedy."
Oh, sorry. No, it's from Life's Too Short.
Okay.
The Warwick Davis, like Ricky Gervais show.
Okay. Yeah, Ricky Gervais has got a lot of like short running series. But
Yeah.
that entire segment right there, I've probably watched it 6-7 times. It cracks me up every single time. Because he's playing somebody who wants to do improv, but is breaking every rule of improv. Like they give him a premise and he's like, "No one would ever believe I'm a greengrocer. I was Rob Roy." It's so funny. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, it's not like I hold the Naked Gun movies into like on a pedestal or anything, but
Sure.
I mean they were fun to watch as a kid.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen them in a long time, so I don't know how well they would hold up. But
Yeah.
it's kind of a very punny,
Super
kind of
goofy.
a punny comedy, and also just very off the wall, absurd.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to that. Anything
So
else?
yeah, You guys see that Crow trailer? Wasn't that crazy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, do you want to talk about the Crow trailer?
I want to hear your thoughts, Tyler. Concise this time.
Okay, fine. I saw the trailer and I was speechless. I don't know what to think.
In a good way?
I like how
well,
I asked for your thoughts and you say, I don't know what to say. I want to talk about this. You know, I don't know what to say.
I'm speechless.
So what I think is, I like the indiscriminate violence.
Okay.
That the titular character, the Crow,
In
does
parentheses, yes.
in the trailer.
Okay.
Like he just, it reminds me of True Detective season 1, where
Why?
Okay.
Okay, this is becoming like, you know how you're like, it always comes back to Seinfeld whenever I bring it up. Like that's becoming your thing now.
Yes, it is.
God damn it, you're right.
It is.
But,
I don't see the connection, but go ahead.
No, it's the violence. So when
I like that scene in True Detective season 1 when he gets shot and the shotgun blasts in the chest and then turns around and kills the guy anyways.
So when Marty discovers that there's children in the trailer,
Reginald Ledoux.
Okay.
he exactly, and he just comes up and then he just shoots the guy in the head with no hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was watching the trailer, that's what I really liked, is that Draven, he was just shooting people just like with no hesitation. Like there was no like standoff battle or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just like, like it felt like a chore for him.
Got it.
Like that he could just be like, psh.
Yeah, like it's just another thing.
It's
He's just
like,
taking out
God
the
damn
garbage.
it, yeah. So that's what I really liked about it.
Higher or lower on it after seeing the trailer?
After seeing the images
From
of the makeup.
From seeing the images to
What
now seeing the trailer, better or worse?
So I had to meditate on it, and I was thinking,
Just give us.
I had to talk to my therapist about it because I didn't know what to think.
Just what's your like it or not?
well, I'd like to discuss about it.
This is a very small side section.
Okay,
We're
fine,
running
all
way
right.
long.
Oh, okay,
I
I'm
asked you to
sorry.
keep it brief.
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Come
I'm cautiously optimistic. How about that?
Wonderful. Me too.
Okay.
Was that so hard? Was that so hard?
It was really hard because I could have talked about it for 20 minutes.
Say that for Tyler and Company. It's actually in production.
Tyler.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't The Crow, like if it was just something else, like it's just I don't know what they would call it, but
Yeah.
without it being like, that's
different-
obviously The Crow.
A different revenge movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many revenge movies though; they're all the same.
Yeah, it's a good point. Okay.
But it's Bill Skarsgård, so you can't go wrong with him.
Yes. Okay, cool. So for my story, I have a very kind of disappointing story from IndieWire. So this is a poll from Harris X, which is I think apparently they're a company that just does polls, kind of like a Gallup poll or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
That says that more than 2/3 of U.S. adults would rather wait to watch movies on streaming than go and see them in the theater. And it says 34% of the United States adults prefer to watch movies in theaters, which means a solid 2/3 would rather wait for them to be released on streaming. The competition continues between streaming services and the Hollywood engine. While we still see evidence of loyal moviegoers in recent box office numbers, our study shows that 2 in 3 movie watchers prefer to stream movies at home. That's from the VP at Harris X, Ali Brandy.
I know that's not your way.
No. I mean, to be honest,
Depends on the movie.
for many, many, many years, I didn't really watch hardly any movies in theater. Maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. And I understand why people would want to watch at home because it's expensive to live now, you know?
Well, yeah, and you're in the comfort of your own home.
So, yeah, I have a couple thoughts about this. Number
I
one.
gotta pay to see.
Yeah, number one, it's expensive to go anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
When you are leaving the house, unless
Expect to pay at least $40.
Yes, exactly. Have $40 in your pocket because you're like, unless you're going to the library or to a public park or going on a hike, you're going to be spending money. You know, you have to go somewhere to like buy a coffee and then hang out and
Get snacks.
No, I'm just not even the movies. I'm just saying.
No, I know, but
tea that Joseph's drinking right now. Mm-hmm. It's like if you want to go somewhere and hang out with your friends, there's an obligate requirement to spend money at that establishment.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Or like an expectation.
Yeah, there is, and there's not a whole lot of places where you can be like, I'm gonna bring my own food and my own snacks and my own book, and I'm just gonna sit there. I mean, Starbucks people do that, but it's frowned upon.
Yeah, I mean, who does that?
Or you buy
though?
one.
Who does that?
Exactly, that fucking smug outlook that you're giving to the audience right now. Who does that? Who goes to a place where it brings their own book? What a loser! You know, because that's the pervading.
You're gonna read a book. You're gonna read a book in a public place. Like what is that? No, you read a book in the comfort of your own bed.
What if you don't?
Or on
what
the
if
couch.
what if you don't have a healthy home life? What if you have an abusive household? What if you live with roommates that you hate?
Then
What if the only way you
then-
can read is with other noise around you?
Yeah. What if when you sit down
I
and
don't
read
understand
a book
that.
in your bed, you fall asleep? That's me. That's why I don't read. I just go to sleep. So I'm saying is that judgmental tone that Tyler just had about reading a book in public. It's like I've seen people tweet pictures. It's like a picture of somebody reading a book in a restaurant, and they're like, and the comment says something like, "Just so you know, everybody hates you."
Yeah, no, they read 3 pages.
Why do you- what is that-
They read
what-
3 pages and then they're just like, okay, I'm done.
No, I'm just if you want to sit for 30 minutes or 45 minutes at a coffee shop and you bought a coffee, you can read a book. But you got
I've read it in public before.
Yeah, you got Tyler and everybody else judging you. I go to
I'm not
breakfast.
judging anyone.
I
I,
could-
like, God bless you if you want to read a book.
That's literally not exact opposite of what you just said minutes ago.
Dan, are you still defending? Are you still defending Tyler now? Dan,
Yes, he is.
I'll read.
Yes, he is.
I'll read his.
He's on Team Tyler.
I'll read his comments in a second. But anyway, so that it's expensive to go out in places, and
Right.
if you have a TV and a nice sound system, and you've bought
Yeah.
all the niceties of your own home, and you pay the rent or the mortgage for your own home, why spend another
Yeah.
$25, $30 to go see the movie in the theaters that you could see at home just because it's a little bit later?
Yeah.
I understand that. Seeing Dune 2 in a Dolby-equipped IMAX theater was absolutely unforgettable experience.
Yeah, I've heard that it's recommended to see it in like the IMAX theaters.
Yeah, and this year I made a commitment to watch more movies in theaters because I think it's good. I can watch more new releases and make little videos on YouTube for them and bring them to the show as well on the podcast.
Sure.
But I watch a lot of them, and whether or not I'm going to recommend you to watch it, there is a second recommendation: should you go see it in theaters, or should you just wait for streaming? There is a lot less romanticism about the movie theater experience, I think, now.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like Grandpa Pete, but people watching TikTok, people watching, short form videos and YouTube and stuff like that, they're less likely to, have this romantic view of the movie theaters if it wasn't part of their childhood experience. My parents would drop me off, or my friends' parents would drop a literal van full of kids, pre-16 children at the movie theater and be like, I'll see you in 6 hours. It doesn't take 6 hours to watch one movie, but but that's what they'd be like, get these fucking kids out of here. And they're going to be, number one, give a respite for the parents.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, they know that they can only get in so much trouble at the movie theater,
Best movie experience, go.
Best movie experience?
Yes.
What does that entail?
Ooh, there's a lot there.
No, just like what comes to your mind first and foremost. Like
Seeing
I have mine, too.
any of the Lord of the Rings movies in
you
theaters.
saw those in theaters?
Yes, I did.
That's
Did you
awesome.
not see them in theaters?
No.
I don't think
Really?
I don't think I did either. I
didn't.
like a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
Seeing them in theaters, like, because, and I can't remember which ones specifically, but this kind of encompasses like seeing like Revenge of the Sith in theaters and other movies in theaters that people were looking forward to, like seeing Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Bruce Almighty, and the Lord of the Rings movies, because they were highly anticipated movies, and
Right.
there was always lines forming outside the theaters. Remember that? Remember
Right.
the lines
Yeah,
would form?
Yes, I-
remember
I-
that, yeah.
They would put the
Familiar.
stanchions or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you would stand behind that, and then a movie theater worker would come by and walk you to the theater.
Oh yeah, that was weird. feel like
Yeah,
an
right. But that
airport.
was like the best experiences that I remember going to the movies. Is like
Nice.
waiting in line like that, and then
Nice.
picking your seats live as opposed to reserving them.
All right,
Yeah,
so Lord
yeah.
of the Rings for you, Joseph. Pete, what about you?
The Matrix. I watched it with my
Oh my God, The
my
Matrix.
older cousin Jeremy. He's like my brother. He's 4 years older than me, and he was very formative to my media tastes as a child.
Right.
Watched it, blew my fucking mind. And that was also the first time I ever experienced somebody smoking weed in public, and it was like a bunch of people in that theater, and I thought we were all going to go to jail.
All those cyber goths in there.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, Tyler, yours, real fast.
Real fast. Jesus Christ, it would have to be Jurassic Park 3.
Oh yeah, and then you were screeching. You're running
Yeah.
around screeching like a
Right.
buffoon.
Yes.
Afterwards.
Yeah. It looked like
Tyler was a child, and the moderator of the event said, "Who can give us the best Velociraptor impression?"
And then
he
I was just
jumped
like,
up and started screeching like a
I held my hand up and I was like, done and done.
done and done. Give me that T-shirt. Anyways, back to the story.
Yeah, sorry.
So I mean, it's really not much of a story. It's just kind of a recent poll, and I think that it makes sense. It's a little sad, but it makes sense.
It's weird because like movies like last year we had Barbie and Oppenheimer, and those movies made a lot of money. So clearly people
Correct, yeah.
were going to the movies. And but that statistic is like it says otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
I mean, there's more people today than there were a long time ago, and
True.
tickets are more expensive. So even less percentage of people, higher ticket prices, the money's still there.
Right.
We got some activity in the chat on the YouTube. Jack's in the chat. He says, "What the hell is everybody talking about? Rating a Starbucks doesn't seem weird to me, but there is an expectation to buy something. That's a thing." And he says, "Bruce Almighty." That's now you're talking my language, Joseph.
You're talking my language.
Bruce says the best movie experience that he had was probably Jaws. It was his first grown-up movie that he got to see. He spent half of it. I'm sorry, just cut off here. I spent half of it in the back of the theater, scared and ready to walk out.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Oh
Bruce.
my God. That's
That's
my
awesome.
God. That's awesome.
So yeah,
I
we
just watched a TikTok on Jaws today too.
wonderful. Congratulations. Glad you brought that
You
up.
better enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. And then, so that's pretty much all I have. But I do have a message from Dan, Binge Lord Dan, a dedicated listener, and he sent 2 messages in. One was a couple weeks ago, and he says, Pete, he added me on Twitter at the real Pete with 4 E's. Please tell Tyler that AI quote unquote art can't and won't exist without stealing real artists' art, and that is samples. The issue isn't that lazy people are calling themselves artists, it's that they're stealing other people's work. That was when our discussion from AI art a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then he sent a GIF that was Captain Kirk slapping Spock saying, "Do better." And then so again, Binge Lord Dan sent another message saying, at Pete, "You know what? Good job, Tyler. The same week that Denis Villeneuve says, as long as that there's spectacle, people don't care about character and dialogue. Tyler says that a good character will completely compensate for ropey special effects, i.e. Spaceman." So in your Spaceman review, you said, the CGI was a little iffy, but the characters were so well drawn that, it made up for it.
Okay, so he
said,
brought it back.
Yeah, he did. And
he brought it back.
Credit where
Okay.
credit's due. He sent a GIF of Corbin saying, "Okay, you did better."
Son of a bitch.
Yes, son of a bitch, he's complimenting you.
I don't like it. I don't.
He
like
was
it.
he started off with some
Vinegar.
salt.
Yeah.
He started some from He started with vinegar and
a
then
he gave you a
gave-
reach around.
Then
Yeah.
he gave it. Well,
Then a little sugar.
Gave me a little sugar. Okay. Well,
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I like how we have to drag compliments out of Tyler for our listeners. They compliment him, and he's like, "Fuck off! Look at you, you bastard." All right, let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks, movies that we watch this week on our streaming services that you can watch on yours too.
Yes.
Tyler, lead us off.
Well, I really wanted to watch new movies this week, but however, I had a lot of people were calling off work, so I was working long hours. And there is one day where it was like raining a bunch. I think it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I'm not sure.
Tyler,
This week?
Tyler, get on that mic. Get on the mic.
And so
You're like turning sideways. Sit straight, boy.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me so
We're
anyway-
on internet television.
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's you up there.
Oh, is it?
I feel like Tyler, it's like when you hold a dog up to a mirror and you're like, that's you.
Like what? Really?
Wait, we're live? Okay, continue.
But so anyways, it was like raining a bunch, and I was really tired from work. I got home, like threw my coat on the coat rack, and I said, "What's a good movie to watch on a rainy day?" And I thought to myself, An American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And
It's a classic.
I know I've picked this before.
That's all right. Why change your method now?
I guess. Why not? But I watched American Werewolf in London, and I watched it in the perfect setting. Headphones on, in the dark, completely. Lucas on my lap.
Yeah.
With a glass of lemonade. And it was just...
Lemonade.
Lemonade. All right.
Actually, it was strawberry lemonade.
Strawberry lemonade on a rainy evening.
Did your mom make it for you?
No, it came from the thing.
Did your friend make it for you?
Would you get to your goddamn streaming pick?
So, An American Werewolf in London, I watched it in the perfect setting. The perfect setting.
Strawberry lemonade.
Strawberry lemonade, cat on my lap.
Cat on my lap. Yeah.
Okay.
And in my pajamas. And the movie is so comforting for some reason. Like I'm not sure like why it is. Like it like the pacing of the movie is just, it's so efficient, and John Landis, as a deplorable human being as he is, and his son, he made a really great movie. Okay. He made the perfect interpretation of being a werewolf, because he made it seem like it's an actual curse. It's like it's not like Twilight, where like it's a cultural thing where, oh yeah, you're gonna be a werewolf, you can turn into a werewolf at any time. No, it seemed like that when you turn into a werewolf, like that sucks.
Yeah.
Like that
sucks.
Like that sucks. So that's what I really enjoy about An American Werewolf in London. It's
just the transformation scene?
Well, yes. That is an incredible
Well, it set the
scene.
standard for werewolf transformations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And then Wolf Cop came, and then it changed the game.
Yeah, then you get to see full genitalia.
It's like, what happens to that part of the body?
So what I really liked about, I've watched this movie several times, but like there's definitely a setting to watch this movie to like fully enjoy it. And I went on my Amazon Prime account, and it came up like on like it was like one of the first movies that came up on like recommended for you. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. I think I'm gonna watch it.
This is gonna be a net benefit to the show.
I wasn't thinking.
I'm gonna do this whole bit where I say I was gonna watch a bunch of new movies, but I'm just gonna watch this movie.
Lie to the audience again.
Well, lie to the audience. I'm not lying.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
So I've been meaning to watch Poor Things, but it's such a long movie, and I haven't had the time to like fully embrace it. Mm-hmm. And so I have been putting it off, but I'm going to watch it, and I will report back about my thoughts about Poor Things.
Okay.
So where is it?
We're all at bated breath.
Hey, waiting on bated breath.
Bated breath. But anyways, you can stream An American Werewolf in London on Amazon Prime if you have that subscription.
All right. Is that your only streaming pick?
Yes.
Do you have a letterbox review for that?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I do. I was trying to write one really quickly.
No, don't do that. We want quality.
That's
Yeah.
That's why I was running late.
Also, try not to scoot out of frame. Every 30 seconds, you scoot closer to the window. Look at you. You're like completely out of frame now.
You're trying to break out the window.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you're supposed to be right in the middle.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Look at this. There you go.
No.
Look at that. Papa
right.
Pete had to friggin' manhandle Tyler to get back in frame. All
Sorry
right.
about that.
You good with that? You good, Tyler?
Yes.
All right, Joseph, what do you got?
Oh, okay. So I have a lot of movies that I watched.
I'm sure.
But
2 weeks worth.
I'm not going to talk about most of them.
Okay, cool.
You guys watched Spaceman. I also watched Spaceman like the weekend that it dropped. That was pretty good. It was a little bit derivative, but overall it was pretty...
Derivative of what?
Moon, Interstellar, a little bit of 2001. But overall, it wasn't like it was like ripping off those movies, but it was definitely like, yeah, I've seen this in Interstellar. I've seen this in Moon. But it was very contemplative and introspective. Carey Mulligan has been typecast into that role a little bit too much recently.
Tyler, stop banging your head against the mic.
I'm sorry, I'm upset.
Someone has a different opinion than me. I'm upset.
It's a tone poem, and you're watching a man get therapy from a talking spider. I think Paul Dano's performance was better than Adam Sandler's, but I liked his very ASMR-y voice that he had, very calm and gentle. But you definitely, if you're in a good mood, don't watch this movie. And I'm not saying that because it'll make you sad. I'm saying it because it will just like it'll be a drag.
Yeah.
For you if you watch this on if you're in like if things are if it's a nice sunny day and you know it's like today don't watch it.
Yeah. You really kind of want to be in a dour mood,
which is kind of a bad thing for this movie because it's like you know our moods are like on like a pendulum, and the movie is like it has to like hit that it like at the right point. Like you have to be in the right spot for this movie to hit you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was pretty good. I also watched Total Recall, the remake, the Colin Farrell version.
Okay.
And that was actually pretty entertaining. Like it's actually a pretty fun movie, and it's a little bit disappointing because they don't go to Mars in this one.
Yeah.
It's all on Earth, like a dystopian Earth, and instead of like, it's still like a class thing, and there's less mutants in this one. And Bryan Cranston plays Coagan, and it kind of changes the plot. Instead of like Coagan taking air from people on Mars, he's just like gonna take over the whole world. But it's a pretty good like action movie, honestly.
Nice.
So that one was streaming on Netflix.
Two Netflix in a
row. Two movies that I want to focus on right now.
All right.
The first one is a documentary. It's a documentary movie that was released in 2017, and before I say the name of this movie, I want to ask you guys: are you guys circumcised?
What? Hold on.
Buddy, you better believe it.
Wait a minute. What kind of
Just like my father and his father before him.
Okay, Tyler.
I don't feel
Tyler,
comfortable.
talk about your schwanz for once.
I don't feel comfortable answering these
I
questions.
I think I know somebody who I could ask.
Yeah, how dare you?
So yes, you guys are.
Sure.
Okay,
yes,
so that makes
yes.
me the outlier here.
Oh, Joseph's uncut. Joseph's an anteater.
This is wow.
Okay.
I thought this would be off mic.
All right.
Okay.
So this documentary is called American Circumcision. And it's streaming on Tubi and Peacock, and Pluto TV. And this honestly, like the name of the documentary and like the cover of it is like is a picture of the White House with like the tip cut off.
Okay.
Sorry, not the White House, the capital of DC.
Oh,
of the United States. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The dome, the top of the dome is cut
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yes.
and it's one of the strangest like documentary like subjects that I've seen, but it's actually like probably one of the more compelling documentaries that I've seen recently.
Nice.
Because like aside from the like separate from the subject matter, it does a really good job in presenting both sides of like people being pro circumcision and anti circumcision.
Really?
And I'm definitely of the anti-circumcision camp because not like if you're like a consenting adult and you're like I don't want foreskin anymore, then you can make that decision, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But if you're a parent and you're choosing for like a baby, then that becomes an issue.
Oh.
Because it's essentially genital mutilation.
You're cutting a piece of their genitals off. They'll never go back.
Yes, and it's crazy how botched that procedure can go, and how it can actually affect how much of an impact that has on these men's lives later in their life, because that is what it can essentially it can cause curvature of a penis. That's what can happen. Like scar tissue
boomerang, mate.
will like affect the shape, and sometimes it can have like a it's I don't know how to describe it, but like in the
like a very compelling documentary.
In the documentary, there's a woman who gets her baby circumcised, and then the doctors or whoever did it, they fucked up, and it gets like an enclosed penis or something like that. Like that's what happens.
What?
That's weird.
And then the woman, she goes to like this conference that talks about like the problems with circumcision, and then, but she went after she got her baby circumcised, and then they do an interview with her, and she's like, what did I do to my son? Like, what did
I never did that sort of thing.
Like she's like crying on camera, and she has like this guilt and regret, and it's really sad. One of the weirdest parts of the documentary, and I don't know why they chose to interview this guy. He's like he does these like I don't know, these talks, these like not like a TED talk, but like
something similar.
He shows men with foreskin how to essentially make the most out of their foreskin in terms of sexual pleasure, and he tapes himself and he plays it in front of a bunch of people of him essentially jacking off and showing how he's like, I'm gonna show you how like I can come 3 times within 5 minutes just by stimulating this part of the foreskin.
That's a drop.
I know. It's like that was like I understand kind of what they're trying to do. Like there are certain things that when you perform a circumcision that it will take away from people.
Where is
but
this streaming
but
on
there are like the people who are pro circumcision, like this association of pediatricians.
Okay.
It's so weird that they want to like hold on to this procedure so much.
Sure.
Like it's just a weird conviction to hold.
Yeah.
Because it's like one less thing that you have to do if you don't do circumcisions. Like
Hey, Joseph, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but now that we're on YouTube Live, I sent the link out to all my family and said, "Hey, you want to come and watch us live?" And within the last 5 minutes, when you started your review, I have my mother and my dear Auntie Amy are in the chat, and my mom just sent an eggplant emoji.
Nice.
Wait, what?
This is a very interesting review.
Okay.
The documentary essentially, like, the message is like the people who want to keep doing these and are like lobbying to make sure that like these surgeries can keep happening. It's like about control. That's basically what it is. And this is like one of the few like man issues that like I can get behind, because it can be looked at as like child abuse or even like sexual abuse.
And most of the other stuff that people are trying to regulate is like a woman's body.
Yeah, and and there's also this weird mentality of when like when parents want to circumcise their child. One of the reasons is like, well, I want him to look like his father.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's so fucking weird. That's so fucking weird. It's like, it's kind of disgusting.
This documentary really had an effect on you.
Tyler, get on that mic.
It's just so strange, and I had no idea that I would have this much passion.
Me neither, apparently.
and like there are like people who have like essentially been disowned by their parents because like a kid, like this 18-year-old, like questioned his mom on like why they did this to him, and now he like doesn't talk to her anymore.
I mean, I got a lot of thoughts about it. I don't want to go too far into this.
Yeah, we're not talking about penises right now. This is
we are. We actually are.
Yeah, we are doing it right now.
We've exceeded our weekly penis talk allotment for the week. But the one thing I do know of, that there's a movement of people, I hope they talk about it in this, that are like foreskin restoration. Like
they talk about that too.
Okay, cool.
They bring that up, and they have synthetic foreskin
I
and all.
I don't want to hear any more about it because I'm going to watch the.
There's
doc.
like this device that like pulls like the old. It's weird.
I want to watch the doc. Well, where's it streaming?
Tubi and Peacock.
Peacock. Oh yeah, I forgot. Wonderful. Okay, cool.
But yeah,
was it good? Was it good though?
It's good. It's entertaining.
Okay.
It's very riveting and compelling, and it's just if you weren't on either side of the conversation and you were watching this, you could probably be swayed on either side.
That's good. I like the evenly distributed sort of documentaries.
Yeah,
but going into it, it's like I've definitely like I don't know how you could do that to your child. It's like knowing what we know now, because they're like, it's like if you still have the foreskin, it's going to store a bunch of diseases like HIV and AIDS. I'm like, AIDS is not stored in the foreskin.
Wait, what? Hold on a second. I'm just hearing for the first time. AIDS is not stored in the foreskin?
What?
Oh God! It's like in Seinfeld.
Oh God! Here we go.
With Kramer. Kramer stops a bris from happening.
I hope your next streaming pick is what I think it is.
And he calls it a barbaric ritual.
I like how he looked. He looked.
Well, you looked at what?
He's saying Tyler's very distracted by your background. What's happening?
No, he looked. He like made sure it was okay.
Okay, Tyler.
He was like,
huh?
Don't pay attention to him. Let's move on.
Okay.
What you got?
All right, the next movie I want to stream pick. Well, I'm not stream picking this. Don't watch this. Michael Elliott is a name and a person that we've
he's a hero of our show.
Yeah.
That we've taught. Hero? I don't know.
I don't know. He's a celebrity.
The word hero.
He's doing work.
Yeah, he's
God's work or devil's work. I don't know.
No, he's a celebrity. Oh my God! You watched.
So he's a person we've talked to in the past.
Yes.
Interesting fellow. Watches a shit ton of movies.
Right.
I think he's in the 500s now on Letterboxd.
Already, it's March 16th.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Really? You've been keeping up with him?
And he watches a lot of stuff, of a variety of things. And I was on Letterboxd when he logged something recently. Okay. And so I've never watched any of these movies that he's reviewed. So I saw this and I was like, okay, I'll check this out, because the name is funny, and it's a parody of another movie.
Okay.
So this movie is called Taint Light.
Taint Light. Okay.
Taint Light,
All right.
and it's a parody of Twilight.
What is this episode? What are we doing?
Taint Light.
20 minutes on circumcisions. Now you're talking about taints and vampires.
20 minutes on circumcision.
I think the flu has gone to your brain, Joseph.
Maybe. All right. So Taint Light.
Okay.
It's a very, very low budget, like shot on video, like tape.
Wow.
Straight to Shidio.
And it's streaming on Tubi.
All right.
It's an hour long.
All right.
And it's directed by this man named Chris Seaver. And the plot is the tale of Stella, a young girl who falls in love with an ancient, beautifully haired bloodsucker named Edgar. They struggle to stay together in the midst of vampire carnage, but a love triangle bubbles up when a Michael Jackson-loving werewolf named Jack comes forward professing his own love for Stella.
You hear that, Jack?
Meanwhile, a rival group of real vampires led by the evil Razor McBleed are prowling.
Razor McBleed. That sounds like a villain from Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
That does. That does.
Michael Elliott works on a 4-star rating system.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Even on Letterboxd, he works on a 4-star rating system.
Oh,
Yeah.
he doesn't even use the 5 stars.
He uses 5s for classics, like an
Yes.
all-time classic. Very,
Okay.
very seldom do you see a 5-star from him.
He gave this movie 3 stars.
Really?
And I'll read his review.
Okay.
Oh,
This
please.
Chris Seaver spoof of Twilight is actually a lot better than it has any right to be. If you've seen Twilight and hate sparkly vampires, then Taint Light will be for you. What makes this film work so well is that the entire cast is on the same page and the same type of comedy is attempted. I will agree with that. A lot of times you watch films like this and it seems like every actor is doing their own thing, but I thought Seaver, the director, kept everyone on the same page and it really worked well. Meredith Host plays the lead female role, and I thought she was really good and very funny at times. The rest of the cast were quite good too, but thankfully Seaver knew what he had and didn't try to push this movie to be longer than it already is.
Okay.
The 61 minutes was a perfect running time, and even at that length, it did start to get a tad bit boring. Still, there was plenty of funny moments, including many involving a very perverted dad. The same type of childish humor is on display throughout, but it was a nice little spoof.
Okay. 3 stars, 75%.
Yeah. I gave it like a half star.
Wow, that's
'Cause
shocking.
I will. There's some moments that is like it's like actually kind of funny, but overall, it's just.
I can't believe you watched this.
I felt kind of gross watching this.
Yeah,
honestly.
what compelled you to watch it?
I've already explained
He
myself.
already said. It was a Michael Elliott. He saw a weird ass movie that Michael Elliott watched, and he said, "I'm going to see what kind
That
of
was it?
what
That
kind of
was-
stuff that he's watching."
I don't know what Michael. You don't need to watch everything.
I think he does. According to him, he does.
Is he like Is he like on like a government contract like to?
He's
No,
like the,
no.
he's like the architect in
He says
the
he has
Matrix.
he says he has a normal job. He's got a family and kids.
He has a family.
Yeah, you were on the show. What do you?
I'm saying, does he have a government contract to watch movies?
Oh no.
Does he have like some sort of? Did he like sell his soul? Is he owe the mob
This is just
something?
for posterity.
Like
It's for future generations.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's doing work.
He's doing the work. He's
He's watching every movie so that everybody doesn't have to. I don't know.
Except for he's giving 3 stars to this parody smut.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's not offensive, but it's really really not good. I mean, the dad is they changed some things about it. Obviously, like the dad has like this weird, like he wants to bang his daughter.
What?
Yeah, and like the daughter knows that he wants to, and like there's no like Native American aspect to it. And it doesn't take place in Washington. It takes place in I can't remember the name of the town.
Bakersfield.
It's like the FP, but
Oh god. The FP vampire universe.
But yeah, it's
so don't
it's only
watch
an hour, but it's
So it felt like
if you're
longer.
if you're curious, it's on Tubi.
No, I'm not
but,
curious.
There's a lot of like crotch jokes. Oh, instead of baseball, like the baseball scene, they play froth.
Oh,
What's
wonderful. Disc golf.
Oh, disc golf?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's more like frisbee football than disc golf. But it's like indoor frisbee football. And instead of the vampires that sparkle, if they are out in the sun, they get boners.
What? Okay.
Yeah, they get boners.
All right, now I know what kind of movie this is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm
It
in.
Yeah, it's
It sounds like
So
I watched a parody movie kind of like that called Vampire Boys 2, recommended by Jason from Binge Movies as a more or less like as a punishment, and it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like on screen or elsewhere. Like I've seen beheadings on the internet.
the gay romance.
Yeah, it's Vampire Boys. Vampire Boys, so you can imagine.
But yeah, taint light. Skip it probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I get to my streaming picks, we have some.
I'm done, by the way.
I assumed you said you had to. Question from Laura Lovelace, my dear mother, in the chat. She says, "How does?"
I wanted to talk about Damsel.
Oh, okay. Oh, hold on.
Sorry.
Let me get through these comments.
Yeah.
How does a remake of Total Recall compare to the original, in your opinion?
The original is like so much better, and apparently follows the book a lot closer.
There's a book?
Yeah, it's a short story by Philip K. Dick.
Well, yeah, I don't need that.
You don't need what?
But you're saying, oh well, it's a book.
You asked.
Yeah, but you said it in such a way where like it's like you didn't know it was a short story.
That's just how you interpreted that.
Okay.
But yeah, Total Recall, the like Arnold Schwarzenegger version, is actually it's actually a very good movie, and the Colin Farrell version is just like a really fun action movie.
Okay, gotcha. We said Laura also says taint lighting is low budget. That is shocking. And sent a scissors emoji during your circumcision discussion.
Oh, so.
Jack from Australia says, I love how much you've upped your game with watching tons of movies, Joseph. He loves the extended streaming picks. And he also says, I hate turning into a werewolf. It sucks when that happens. From Tyler's review.
I can see how Jack could be deterred or perturbed from turning into a werewolf.
Okay, so for my streaming picks, oh, I forgot. Yeah, go ahead. I did watch Damsel. Yeah, I talked about it last episode. I think it's a movie made for like 13-year-old girls. I liked the dragon a lot, and I thought some of her like sort of MacGyver survival techniques were appreciated. You know, it was fine. I thought it was fun enough, but not a movie made for me essentially. So I like the first like 20 minutes of it, I'm like, I don't need this movie, and why do I care about Millie Bobby Brown anyways? I'm done with her. I'm done with her. That's pretty much what I was thinking.
Yeah.
How'd you think? It got better. Yeah, it did. It felt like a Twilight, but instead in medieval time. And she's not as interesting as Bella, and Bella's not interesting.
Right.
Like some of the CG was a little like CG was CG, but it was by the end of it was like a one and done type movie.
Okay.
And but while I was watching it, have you ever been watching a movie and you're thinking to yourself like this movie is screaming like I am a movie.
Sure. Maestro.
Definitely.
Maestro.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's like you're not immersed in it at all. It's like there's a barrier between you and the screen where is like
That's an interesting concept. Yes, yes, I have.
apparently I'm muted.
No, I fixed you.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay. And that's what this movie felt like. It felt like I was watching a movie. It didn't engage me at all.
Okay.
You know, it's just like it's just like I am a movie. That's what it felt like. And
Okay.
it's not like every movie has to be, I guess, like that, where it's like I have to be living. I feel like I'm living in that world, but it just was.
There has
It
to
was
be
just.
some sort of immersion.
It was just like I'm aware that I'm watching a movie,
Yeah.
and things are happening on screen that I don't care about because I'm not engaged with any of the characters or the world that they're in.
Yeah, it
And
kind of felt like
that's
it kinda
the
felt like
genre of
like
movie that this is.
like a story that's being told from like a storybook, and
Yeah.
like when I finished watching it, I was thinking, this is better than I thought it was going to be. I had a good time, and I thought the graphics of the dragon were pretty great, and some of the visuals of that were cool. But
Yeah.
I'm probably going to not spend a whole lot of time thinking about it in the future, and I won't rewatch it again. I think my opinion of it's gone down over time, which that's usually not a great sign. But
Yeah.
it kind of felt like I said, like a storybook that somebody's reading to you, but it's a story that you just don't care about too much.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely like, I mean, it just felt like the Desolation of Smog. That's what it felt like.
Definitely had tones of that. I was thinking when the dragon's flying across the ocean, I'm like, that is very far distance. I wonder if that dragon's gonna make it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like when people who read are like, it's like when I'm reading sometimes I'm like, I'm reading right now, as opposed to like me living in the book and like imagining the world that I'm like reading based on the words.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, I get you.
As opposed to like watching a movie where it's literally being presented in front of me,
I'm
and it's
reading
still not
right now.
engaging.
I'm reading right now.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's just like kind of what I wanted to bring up with Damsel, is that it's a movie and it screams that it's a movie.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I'm just kidding.
All right. So a couple of movies that I watched this week. I revisited a classic that I've always loved, and I love it now. I loved it before, and I think my appreciation for it's only gone up. And this is a classic Disney. When I say classic, I don't mean the Disney Renaissance era, like mid '90s to like early 2000s. Well, I guess it's kind of right on the edge of it. It's a Goofy movie, 1995.
Oh, you watched that one?
Yeah, I watched it. And Brianna and I wanted to watch a fun movie with a positive message and some good vibes.
Did you have pizza?
We did not have pizza. There was plenty of pizza on screen though. A very cheesy, gooey pizza movie. But this is streaming on Disney Plus, as you might imagine. And I'm gonna venture to say this is damn near a perfect Disney movie. I think
would agree with you on that.
The
yes.
the scope of it is not as broad and like, it's not like a world adventurer sort of
There's
movie.
not a lot of stakes in the movie too.
I mean, the stakes are very personal. The stakes are it's a father and a son, and it's the culmination of their relationship from two different perspectives.
Yeah.
Goofy.
I guess what I was saying, like it's not like a big scope movie, like where like there's like world-ending things or
He wants to go to a concert, and
Yeah.
he just wants to spend time with his son.
right.
Yes, but the stakes for Goofy are that. So the plot of the movie, for people who haven't seen this, is that Max is Goofy's son. He's a high schooler. I don't know if he's a junior or senior or something, but a higher age high schooler.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he really likes this musician called Powerline. And
that's what it
he's
was,
like
yeah.
a sort of a pop, sort of dancey, maybe like a Chris Brown mixed with Michael Jackson sort of thing, with a little bit more,
Right.
kitsch to his vibe, because he wears like these jumpsuits and is all electric, Powerline, hence the name. And he does this Powerline performance during a assembly at his school. And it's this great production where his friend PJ hooks a hook on him, and he flies him around the auditorium as he's singing, whatever stand up, I think is what the song is called.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh, Max is the coolest now. Oh, he did this during the assembly, and that's crazy, Max, what a cool guy this guy is."
Yeah.
And then he gets the girl Roxanne, who he has this crush on, and they're gonna go on a date together.
She's a fox.
And then the principal, voiced by Wallace Shawn, Brianna's pissed that I compared Powerline to Chris Brown. Only because he's a dancer. He's not. He doesn't.
Did Powerline ever abuse his partners?
No, he never punched Rihanna in the face while parked in their car. So that's where the analogy ends. But yeah, so he gets the girl and all this stuff, and the principal, voiced by Wallace Shawn, calls Goofy, the father, and says, your son is a menace. He did this in our auditorium, and by the way, this is how he ends up in jail and in the electric chair. And
oh, Jesus, he's getting a death
that's what
sentence?
he says. What happens next is the electric chair.
He's getting a death sentence?
Yeah, Brianna says hi. So that's Goofy, and Goofy is very gullible. He's a goof, and he says, "I'm gonna set my son straight."
He's a goof.
It's in his name.
I'm gonna set us straight. We're gonna go on this fishing trip together, just like my dad took me on the fishing trip, and we're gonna imbue some wholesomeness into his life. So they go on this cross country road trip from state unknown to the east, to the west coast, and he's gonna go to this fishing trip in, I don't know, wherever, Yosemite or something like that.
Okay.
And halfway through, Max decides to turn the course of the road trip to L.A. to go to the Powerline concert, which is what he told his new girlfriend to be that he was going to go see. He's going to say, the reason why I'm canceling the date that I just got with you is not because I don't like you. It's because I'm going to see Powerline in L.A. And Powerline and my dad are old friends. Why he has to make that lie up? I don't know. He's a dumb teenager. I chalk it up to that.
Yeah, and
they go off on the road trip, and they have a blast together. And he's embarrassed by his dad, and all these good things. And you can imagine how it goes from there. But from the second this movie starts, you have this nightmare sequence where Max is dreaming.
Yeah,
and it's basically a would-be sex dream with Roxanne. And before it gets there, before they kiss, his snout sprouts longer like his dad, and he gets these giant goofy teeth, and his feet blow out of his shoes, and he turns 10 feet tall and goes, "Yuck." And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm turning into my dad. The worst thing that could happen." And
okay,
how relatable is that as a child when you're embarrassed by your parents and your future is, I'm going to turn out just like that?
It's weird. I've never been embarrassed by my parents before.
I always liked I didn't really have a super strong aversion to that. But, when your parents are, giving you lovey-dovey sort of kisses and your friends are hanging out or whatever, you're just like, "God, Dad, don't embarrass me." I
never gave a shit about that. I was just like, yeah. Okay, so my mom loves me.
Tyler,
my dad loves me. Okay.
Brianna
fine.
says you don't even hug your mom, Tyler. What are you talking about? He doesn't
Wait,
believe you.
hold on. Okay, I'm not going to even address the chat about that.
So, anyways, I just thought the nightmare sequence is great. There's a number of musical sequences that are great. There's this road trip song. There's the entire sequence of Lester's Possum Park.
Oh yes,
that is
right.
so. Yes. It's like a scathing takedown of the American South.
Yeah,
all boiled down into one nightmarish, animatronic riddled, costumed nightmare that Max is at with his dad. There's so many great moments in there. There's the Sasquatch sequence.
Yes, of course.
There's the perfect cast that he does with the fishing rod that his dad taught him, who his dad taught him before that.
Yeah.
Which leaves me a question: Do you think that Max is circumcised? You think he looks just like Dad?
Oh God, we're going back to this again.
Goofy really wants.
Is his dad circumcised?
Goofy really wants Max to be just like his dad and his grandpa.
Yeah, I don't
learn the perfect cast.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Do dogs do that?
It would be a much more involved procedure. They have to wait for it to come out. So, anyways, so Goofy movie streaming on the Disney Plus. Damn near perfect movie.
Yeah,
I gave.
What would make it perfect?
I don't know. I can't.
More
say.
pizza.
Yeah, more pizza.
I mean,
a little bit longer. I could use more.
Listener Bree, is Goofy movie perfect?
Yes,
I think it's a
No,
very
she's already unfollowed us after I compared Goofy or Powerline to Chris Brown.
You equated Chris Brown to Goofy.
no. I think it's a very fine movie. It's very well structured.
I would say The Weeknd is closer to.
good call.
Goofy.
Good
That's
call.
good.
Bruno
That's good.
Mars, maybe.
Yeah. I think The Weeknd is a very good.
That's an apt
comparison.
example. Good job,
Yes.
Joseph. A little bit longer. It's 78 minutes. You know, I could have used the full 90. I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah,
a little bit more action on the road.
That's why they made the sequel.
a Goofy movie too.
Damn it, she unfollowed us twice now.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, so
That means she's followed us now because of the 2 negatives, right?
that's right. Okay, so that's a Goofy movie. The next one is
Okay, then who would you compare it to, Bree? If we suck.
Yeah, please tell
The
us.
Weeknd is probably the best example of a modern day comparison.
Okay.
100%.
Michael Jackson, that pedo.
Prince and Michael Jackson. Oh, I see how it is.
I like.
see
Oh,
how it is.
okay. Well, I like the Prince aspect as well, but I think I'm I'm in Joseph's camp. The Weeknd.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on this. I don't want Brianna to unfollow me at home at 2. So
I'm gonna leave your house and she's gonna strike you.
yeah, as soon as you get to the bottom of the stairs, she's gonna have a brick's gonna be flying at your head. Okay, so my next streaming pick is a movie from 2003 starring the most beloved Paul Giamatti. Also starring Hope Davis, Judah Friedlander, and James Urbaniak, who's a name I recognize, or a face that I recognize, but not the name. This is called American Splendor, streaming on
I love
Max.
this movie.
I
love this movie.
You love it? Oh, great.
Yes.
Awesome. Joseph, you seen this one?
No.
So American Splendor basically follows the life and times of Harvey Pekar, an American comic book author. I almost call him an illustrator, but he doesn't draw. He writes the comics, and he literally sketches them as stick figures in panels and then hands them off to an artist to draw.
Yeah, and he has like a throat thing.
Yeah, he's got a very raspy, sort of scratchy voice.
Yeah.
And the thing that I like about this movie, besides the fact that it's Vanilla Ice, the thing that I really love about this movie is, besides the fact that he's an interesting character, he's an everyman, he's very quirky, so it leads to like a lot of interesting interactions with the other characters, is that the movie
He's
is
very abrasive.
Yeah, the movie is structured so that you have the in-universe Paul Giamatti playing Harvey Pekar, and Judah Friedlander playing his friend, and then and Hope Davis playing his now wife. And then at some point, the scene will end, it'll cut, and then they're all on like this sound stage in an all-white backdrop, like they're green screen, but it's all white backdrop, like a white screen. And then it pans over, and they're all taking a break to go sit on their like actors' chairs.
Yeah.
And it pans over, and you see the real Harvey Pekar and the real character, his friend, played by Jude Friedlander, and they're talking to each other on set as like the reference points, and you see the actors in the background watching them and like in reverence, like, look at these freaking characters.
Yeah.
And they're so accurate to the real life people. Their portrayals of these
really are.
characters are so accurate, and you don't realize it. You're like, there's no way this Judah Friedlander character can be this just goober like, you know. He plays Toby, his friend Toby. Yeah. And then you see Toby and Harvey in real life talking to each other about jelly beans on set because they're at the craft food table. And he's like, yeah, gourmet jelly beans, huh? What's this one? This one is Shinneman. How do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
I need to put it in my mouth first.
I love that line.
And
this one is Shinneman.
Yeah, and it's just a great slice of life and like this kind of story of this interesting American author's character.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like it just like when I was watching this movie at the time, it's such a slice of American life in the eyes of an artist, and it's so I don't know how to describe it, but just you can see yourself in that role, but like it feels like you're just
Tyler, why did you get to the point?
Because you're just like
but just you can see like you it looks like you're looking like down from up forward into this person's life.
Perfectly said. There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We got there in the end. No, I agree. You're watching this diorama of these two characters played
That's
out.
a really great point. Diorama. I like that. I like that.
So
I'm gonna use that.
It's okay. Great. Thank you. Talk about that in my next dream pick.
Mm-hmm.
But this story is an interesting one. It's about comic books. It's about this artist, and it's about the actual comic is called American Splendor, and it's a real thing that exists. If you if you thought it was interesting, if you think the story's interesting, you can buy the comic. You can read some yourself because his whole thing is people have comics about superheroes and people have comics about blah 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 whatever. But where's the comic about the everyman? And it'll just be like something like one of the frames, one of the panels will essentially him walking by a mirror, and you'll see himself in the mirror and go, well, there's a reliable disappointment. And that's it. That's the comic. It's just like this self-deprecating guy living his shitty life in his shitty apartment or shitty house collecting LPs in I think it's Cleveland. I don't know if he's in Cleveland. He's somewhere in Ohio.
I think it was.
I think it is Cleveland.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's American Splendor streaming on HBO Max. It's a little off-brand sort of humor. Definitely something that I think a lot of people who listen to the show would enjoy.
Sure, definitely.
And it's one that Paul Giamatti's getting a lot of press right now from The Holdovers, and for good reason. He's great since the beginning. He was fantastic in this movie. He's so good in this movie. And so does Judah Friedlander. If the name sounds familiar to you, he's the guy that wears the trucker hat and has the big mutton chops on 30 Rock.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's unrecognizable. He literally, I couldn't guess it was him in a million years.
He doesn't have the look yet.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't settled into that look. And then the last one, I got a couple more that I watched. Marlowe. It's another Liam Neeson sort of whodunit sort of detective movie. Pretty good. I think it's streaming on Hulu right now. Not fantastic, but I think it was getting trashed when it first came out. It's got really low reviews, and I thought it was good. But I think going to be a little bit forgettable. It's probably not going to be one that sticks with me. But the big one that I watched this week is called Ricky Stenicki. Streaming on Amazon Prime.
Ricky Stenicki.
Tyler, you heard about this?
No, I haven't.
So Ricky Stenicki is a Farrelly Brothers movie. Well, I don't know if it's a brothers movie.
It's one Farrelly.
Yeah, it's Peter Farrelly, the director. And the Farrelly brothers did Dumb and Dumber, Something About Mary.
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah, Me, Myself, and Irene. And I don't think they've made...
Stuck on You.
I was just going to say Stuck on You. God, that's a terrible movie.
Fucking movie.
I saw that movie in theaters with my mom.
Oh, wonderful. I just don't know. They don't even look alike. Greg Kinnear and Matt Damon. So anyways, I didn't know it was a Farrelly Brothers movie going in. I just saw it was starring Zac Efron, what's his name? Andrew Santino.
Santino from Bad Friends.
Yeah, Andrew Santino.
Oh, I love that guy.
Jermaine Fowler and John Cena. And the plot of this is that John Cena is a kind of a no-name junkie actor. Not junkie, sorry. No-name alcoholic actor from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And he is essentially hired to play the three friends, Zac Efron, Jermaine Fowler, and Andrew Santino. Their childhood friends. Their childhood friends. And they made up another friend, a fourth friend, called Ricky Stenicki. And every time they get in trouble or do something bad, they're like, "Oh shit, Ricky was the one that set off the fireworks. Oh, Ricky's the one that did this." And
he's like a placeholder.
Yeah, he's their scapegoat.
Yeah.
And so they don't get in trouble. And he also, as they've kept this mysterious fake figure alive through their adult life, and anytime they want to get out of a mother-in-law's coming into town, or my girlfriend's friend is getting married and I don't want to go to the wedding, they just say, "Oh, Ricky's sick. The cancer's back. We have to go be there for Ricky." And all three of them will fly out to go to some concert. Oh, at the beginning of the movie, they go to a Marc Rebillet concert.
Cameo.
Yeah, they go.
Small little cameo.
Yeah, they'll go to, I don't know, they'll go to Dollywood together just
Yeah.
for fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jack says they shot that in Melbourne. Interesting.
Oh.
And so that's basically the idea. And at some point, their family is like, I can't believe you missed this. It was like the birth of one of their childs.
Yeah.
The wife goes into labor early. And this happens within the first 10 minutes of the movie, so it's not a spoiler. But they're like, how come we haven't seen Ricky? All these years we haven't seen Ricky, and supposedly he has cancer and you have to fly out to this hospital in Albany. We called every hospital in Albany. They don't have a Ricky Stenicki there. And they're like, shit, what are we going to do? So they hire John Cena to play their friend. And they have, through the decades, they have what they call the Bible. And it's all the details about Ricky Stenicki. Oh, they flew here. They did this.
His life.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
He went.
Well, it's very elaborate because they tell him that he's this philanthropic. He helps out in Africa. He does all this stuff, all this charity work.
Yeah.
He's like an enigma.
Yeah, he's
of a person,
a very interesting character, and they want to make sure their story is right, so they have the Bible. So they give the Bible to John Cena's character, who's this actor,
So he can study it.
and be Ricky Stenicki, because he's going to show up to the bris. Very apt discussion based off our circumcision talk earlier.
Son of a bitch.
And Jeff Ross plays the Moyle. He's great.
Oh, yeah.
He's great in this. And John Cena's character is Rotten Rod or something like that, or
it's a Rock Hard Rod.
Rock Hard Rod, because what he does,
His main gig,
how he makes his money in Atlantic City, is he performs X-rated covers of musicians' songs. So he'll dress up as
Britney
Spears singing a sex song about "Hit Me Baby One More Time," but it's about jacking off. Every single song is about jacking off.
Yeah,
I won't quote any of them because that was probably the funniest scene in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Is John Cena 100% committed to the role, dressed up as
a bunch of different
Alice
artists.
Cooper. And
This is on Hulu?
no, Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon Prime. Oh.
Straight to Prime. This is straight to Prime. I don't know if it even got a theatrical release or not.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to grade a comedy because comedy is so subjective. So rating a comedy movie is hard.
Sure.
But I think the milestone, the indicator you have to use is, did it make you laugh? And I laughed almost the entire movie. The first 5-10 minutes. Oh, geez. Easy, Cosmo.
Sorry, Cosmo fell off
Easy, Cosmo.
bed.
The first 5-10 minutes of the movie, the setup for it was, I don't know, it just felt very stilted. And people are saying, oh yeah, Zac Efron's great in this. Zac Efron sucks in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's a shame.
He looks like his face is Botox to the point where he can't give any emotions.
Yeah, he's probably coming off of the Iron Claw.
Yeah, he still looks like he's got that square Easter Island head. And he just, maybe it could be a direction thing because his emotions are so muted. But later on in the movie, he emotes some, and he does pretty well. So when he's going over the top, he's fine. But
All the emotions he saved for Iron Claw.
Yeah, there we go. But John Cena, I think he rushes through his lines a little bit. He's a little, kind of, he's quick to shoot off his lines very fast, and very small nitpicks. But ultimately, the story is ridiculous and it's funny, and it goes in places that I didn't expect, and it puts them in ridiculous situations. Something About Mary is like this Schadenfreude movie where it's like this poor bastard, which is I think Farrelly Brothers also. This poor bastard is in bad situation after bad situation after bad situation, and instead of one guy in that movie, it's all three of the friends in this, and they just get put in worse and worse situations because of Ricky Stenicki.
William H. Macy also in this.
Yeah, William H. Macy. And the other thing, that's
he was. You know what? I think I saw a TikTok about this movie before.
Wonderful, cool. It just came out, so it's probably in the zeitgeist now. So
okay, yeah, no, yes.
So, anyways, would I recommend this movie? If you like juvenile humor, poop and fart jokes, boner jokes, circumcision jokes, masturbation jokes, or anything of that ilk, and you can laugh at something like that, turn your brain off, revert back to when Jackass was the funniest thing on TV. if that is your mode, this is for you. I thought it was perfectly fun, way better than it should have been.
Wow.
For
That's a very convincing
but there's
argument for this movie.
I guess if that's your thing, it is. But there's a huge population of our listeners that are gonna like hate this movie, like absolutely hate this movie. So you watched it, Joseph?
Yeah, I fall in the same camp as you. It's a movie that if it could have come out in like 2005, and it would fit within the type of comedy that was at the time, of like in the 2000s, because it's written that way. The premise of the movie, which I think is a really kind of cool and interesting premise of like, it's like ripe for the conflict that the movie has, where it's like, oh, now we've put ourselves in this situation where we've like fucked ourselves. Yeah. Like we fucked around and now we're finding out.
We're in the find out stage now. Yeah.
And it is like, it's very juvenile. But like that's Farrelly Brothers movies. Yeah. Like I really enjoy, I mean, Dumb and Dumber is a classic, and I really enjoy Me, Myself, and Irene. Even if it is like probably very absurd. Yeah. But it's just so goofy. And this one is like, it's definitely goofy. But John Cena is probably like the funniest part of the whole movie.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And Zac Efron, he didn't bother me at all. He was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like he didn't like give any, like it wasn't like a good performance, but I didn't think it was terrible. I thought he was just like, he was there. Yeah. He's one of the main characters.
He's in this movie officially.
Yeah, he's in the movie.
Santino's funny though.
But yeah, he was good. I liked his like his background, like the whole his main gig, and like we get like it like we see like the montage of it, and then it comes back later in the movie where he's like dressed as what's that guy's name? The guy from the 80s, I can't remember, but he's like Boy George, I think.
Boy George.
Who's Santino's character?
No, John Cena.
Oh, guys, like I don't remember that at all.
No.
Yeah,
and Santino was funny. It's just weird seeing him in this movie because I'm only used to him seeing like he's a comedian, and I've only ever seen him like do like a little bit of stand up, and mostly on Bad Friends. So it was weird to see him in a movie.
From the clips that I've seen from this movie, like he's a pretty good actor. He's a good comedic actor.
He's good, yeah. He has a small part in Fool's Paradise, that Charlie Day movie that came out recently.
Oh yeah.
And he also has a pretty decent sized part in the Lil Dicky Hulu series called Dave.
Oh yeah.
And he's really good.
He's in that? Wow.
He's really good.
Usually has like a bit parts. Like he's like in one episode of The Office.
Interesting.
Yeah, where he's like, and he's also in Curb. When he's
that's interesting,
like one of the more recent seasons, but yeah, it's if you like what you said, if you like dick and fart jokes, then you'll like this movie.
Yeah, and then I got to give a shout out to Jermaine Fowler as well. He plays the interesting thing about the Farrelly Brothers movies too is that there's a lot of representation in their movies historically.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that part of it.
One of the friends is gay, and his boyfriend, his longtime boyfriend, it has like a MS or something. So he walks with like arm crutches, like Walt Jr. from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
and never comments on it. They never comment it. Like somebody makes a kind of a gay joke at his expense, and he goes, "Oh,
because I'm gay.
Huh? I'm gay, right? That's funny."
Yeah.
And they all just kind of roll their eyes at the guy that makes the joke. So the people making fun of the gay guy are the joke in this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's at the very end the whole thing is leading up to this merger, like at their work. And there's some financial institution. They're
investment firm or something.
Yeah, they're gonna do a merger. And one of like the key players, like the senior partners at the firm that they're trying to merge with, is a little person. Again, never commented on. And then
and even there's a person in like one of their meetings who is like in a wheelchair.
She has like a atrophied sort of body, very like small body, and has to control like the movement of the chair with like a little joystick. And again, never comment on. And I respect that. And in Something About Mary, there's, are you okay? Are you about to get us canceled right now?
Are you making fun of? Are you laughing at disabled people?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And in Something About Mary, Warren is Mary's younger brother, bigger brother, but younger brother. I think he's younger, but maybe he's older.
They want the headphones, right?
Yeah, and he's like pretty heavily mentally disabled, and in real life, the Fairley brothers, they're one of their really good friends. Their older brother was also heavily like mentally disabled, and
really?
Yeah, they just went everywhere with him. He was just part of the crew, and they would fuck with him just like they would fuck with anybody else. You know, there was like no difference between him and someone else. So when they wrote Warren into Something About Mary, a lot of people were pissed, and they're like, why can't he be one of our characters, and why can't his differences?
Is he in the movie?
No, he's basically almost a copy paste of their friend they grew up
Oh,
with.
okay. So they just modeled him after
Correct.
their friend. Okay.
But there was backlash there. They're like, oh, you're making fun of this disabled person. They're like, no, we're giving him equal time. We're treating him as equals, like other people say that they're treating him like equals. We actually are.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like this movie. I thought it was very good. I would recommend it to people. It's like 3.5-star movie. There's quite a bit of bad stuff in there that's just not really well made, but it's fair. It's funny, and it's a base level bro frat house comedy. So, and it works in that regard. So
yeah,
John Cena is, I don't know. I think he's fantastic. He's super funny. After Peacemaker and this, there's no way to deny that he has comedic chops.
Yeah,
you know
he was
what I mean?
great in Peacemaker.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say, Joseph, about that?
No. Yeah, it's same thing. It's just like if you are not someone who enjoys that type of humor, then you're not gonna like it.
Nice. Jack says that Santino's also in a show called I'm Dying Up Here, and it's a stand-up comedy show. So
okay.
I wonder if is that the Pete Holmes one, Jack? I think Pete Holmes is like the main character.
Jack, what are you doing
I think
up
it's
this late?
We talked about this before. It's like 10 a.m. there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. But tomorrow.
Is it how many hours ahead? 23?
It's like 21, I think. 21 or 20 and a half. Because he's in a weird time zone where it's actually 22 and a half hours ahead of us or something.
Jack, is it true that the time zones within Australia are all over the place? Because like you can drive from like the south part of Australia and be like an hour ahead of the north part of Australia. I don't know. I saw a diagram like yesterday, and I was like, "Is that how it is? It's like cut up like that." It's weird.
Well, I'm sure he'll answer us promptly.
He's feverishly typing his response now.
He's just like, "God, Jesus Christ, you put me on the spot."
Yeah, he's like, hold on a second. Where is this, sir?
I was stoked by that.
He says it's not that bad. Some states have slightly less time zones or slightly different time zones.
It's so weird because the country is so small. There's 3 time zones within Australia.
The country is huge.
It's huge.
Australia?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yes.
That continent is massive.
Like compared to the U.S.?
It's like this. It's like
bigger than the. Well,
no, it's like 2/3 the size of the United States.
Yeah, maybe.
It's gigantic. It's like driving from. It's like driving
edge
from
to edge. How long would it take you to drive?
edging to edging. Tyler he hates that stoked line.
I was stoked by that.
Why? You sound like a right Californian.
Bro, we're massive. If you have to say you're massive, then I don't know if that's true.
I think it feels just right. The big ones hurt. Famous last words.
God damn it.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say?
Oh, I think that's
Nope.
Okay, so thank you to everyone in the chat. We actually had a really vibrant YouTube live chat for our first YouTube live. Thanks for sticking with us through
Thank you very
all
much.
of the, all the
circumcisions.
well, yeah, that too. But I was gonna say the technical difficulties we had at the beginning. It's all new. There's like 3 different moving pieces you have to get, and they have to be just right to get it to work right.
Yeah.
And but yeah, thank you for sticking through the circumcision talk.
Yes.
Through all of our unedited Michigan. And thank you to our cool-ass yard duties on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather Sachs, Ryan Corbin, and Chris. We've got the technical aspects that will be the stream-along will be done through YouTube Live. I have one more test I need to do that I will do later on today. Once I've confirmed that works right, we're going to have a private room. We're going to do a watch-along with Cade at the Tortured Crossing, new Neil Breen joint. And if you want to get in on that or get your movie on the wheel of destiny for $5, you can be a cool class clown. It's patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass. But just watching here on YouTube Live or YouTube later on, not live, that helps as well.
All right, Jack, you're right. Australia is pretty big. I'm looking at it compared to the U.S., and it's a lot bigger than I thought.
Yeah. Is it about 2/3 of the size of the United States, or is it bigger?
It takes up like it's this picture of Australia stacked on top of the U.S., and it's like takes up most of it.
Wow, nice. That doesn't count Alaska though. So
true. Or Hawaii,
and the massive landmass that is Hawaii. So until next time, thank you for joining us, everybody. I don't know if we're going to stream the review episode later on today, but maybe we will. We'll try it on YouTube Live, or we won't. Follow us later on in the week in Podcast Land as we review Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which was great, I guess. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC Podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and please follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010.
and follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right, see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.